Hi. Um, so if you have finesse, the Fed will they'll extend you their credit. They'll let you use their credit. And before you say no, like, what was there before it was a credit. Understand, please, that I'm talking about the Fed, right? The president doesn't even have power to fire the Fed. Like, they stand around like, this is very quizzical in nature. It's never happened before, and that's all they have to say. They're just like, yo, this never happened before, and people are like, huh, who, what? That was the president. So you just had a psychosocial snap foo. That's not even a real word. Schizo. You had a schizo. You tore something. What the? I don't know what happened, but people are definitely finding ways to cope, and we're not able to acknowledge the security measures that are left in place long after they're due, or recognize the mysterious powers of the Brown Hornet to renew the Emergency State Powers Act with a pen. He kicked APEP out of the pantheon of the priesthood of Akhenaten before he was the Brown Hornet on the Fat Albert Show, and his meteoric rise to take his chair at the desk with a pen. He kicked APEP out for a pen. Like, I think I would want to bank on entropy, not your ability to sign an Emergency State Powers Act that keeps emergency fucking measures in place long after the bureaucracy developed around its usefulness has overextended into the bridge to nowhere. But I'm crazy. So anyways, back to this. If the Fed, the one thing about that though, right, is that how is Bitcoin not going to be accepted by AI run systems after everything is tokenized? How is the AI going to, oh yeah, okay, the Fed, like, sure, there was gold before and you lost the gold, or the gold disappeared, so now instead of gold you're given credit. Who else establishes that it's credit once you lose all the wealth? So no, definitely Bitcoin. Like, and for me to say this, like, and this is one of these French people. I don't want to throw dude under the bus, because I actually think I think it's settling in, because you can't red pill somebody and still work there. Like, I can't red pill somebody and still work there. I have to leave or he has to leave. I don't really think it's that way. I don't feel like that. But anyways, like, I red pilled somebody, so I don't see a future at that company for one or the other. I mean, unless I'm being cynical too much. It's just that I was listening to the Modern Investor on a little speaker at break time outside in the parking lot, and he was like, "Yo, is that Alex Jones?" I'm like, the Modern Investor. He's like, it's a radio, it's YouTube. So Alex Jones, then like, he knew too much. This guy, like, he came around and he just, like, knew too much. Do you get that? Like, that was the problem. But I almost had to, like, when I was explaining it on the way home, and on my ride home with my mother, like, She is naturally. I can't just blame her for naturally trying to explain his reason or logic, because there was no reason or logic. But I was defending the fact that there's nothing really wrong or encroaching about having a radio and headphones you can't have because of OSHA. So is he clocking me because a nigga can have a radio, or anybody can have a radio? It could be a bitch or a lady or a nigga or a white hat. I can't even say anything. He's a white hat. Everyone else is the little little nigga. Everybody else is what the fuck? But anyways, so he was at one point. It's like, yo, that your explanation is not. We didn't go to the same school, but he was kind of like telling me, fucking can it, get the fuck up out of here. Like I didn't just fucking spend hell of time fucking filling out papers and going on an orientation to throw fucking like hands. So like I figure if I actually go through this noisy process of raising my status, then I get to buy some land. Then who's going to take up my position with these crazy young people? They're going to be a problem, dude. And I'm on my own land. Like, who's going to fucking, all right, roll up their fucking sleeves and get in there and start running a clinic and teaching people and getting the niggas the help they need? Nancy Pelosi? Where does he put the onus? Like, I have to put the onus on people who shouldn't have a Chinese spy driving Miss Daisy like fucking Dianne Feinstein, right? Like, trying to fucking... Only thing she could do is rip the copper pipes out of the fucking collegiate institutions by introducing Confucius Societies and Candid app and bullshit like that, because she's the fucking Ching Chong Chinese with the chopsticks, and now she's dread. Now she's dread. They fucking want to be on the other side than where they are, which basically rock my position, stand on my square, rocking my position, and shaking them dreads. Come on, lady. Is it like, old lady, you're asking too much. Like, stop tripping, because, like, I'm lucky. I think these people are traumatized. And fucking, I can't help them unless I'm undetectable. You can't help anybody unless you're undetectable. That is the rule. There's no rules other than that. Like, you can't help anybody unless you do it yourself and you go there, but you can't be observed doing it. You can't be observed, because you got to pay March of Dimes and you got to pay UNICEF to act like fucking thugs and shit, and fucking ship people poison fucking shelters. I don't know what the poison leached out of the shelter, and the child labor they used to assemble this shit is fucking like they were the canary in a coal mine. And then they're like, oh, we helped. The port is still look like shit and it's broken. They still can't fucking receive any shipping. The port. Why wouldn't you fix the fucking port with your fucking $10 billion fucking dollars that you didn't steal, and only 6 of it that's missing? What about the other 3? Like, fuck the money you already stole. The $6 billion that you already stole, Hilly. But what about the $4 billion that nobody's talking about right now? Who's fucking making off with that? Like, that's money that you still want to steal. So nobody can talk about money that you still want to fucking steal, probably. Why don't they fucking hurry up and explain how with charities fraud and a and a foundation that you don't know where one begins and the one ends and the other one begins, how we're going to prosecute people who fucking draw legislation, who draw up legislation. Like you're a lawmaker, and nobody can enforce laws on a lawmaker. Fuck all rationalization. Like, everything outside of that is rationalization. I know it sucks, but just because it sucks doesn't mean I'm gonna say it I'm gonna mention it. You know, it just you either are connected or you're disconnected. I'm just gonna let that rock.